Hi, everybody. Happy February. One of my favorite months. January is just kind of like blah. We've got Valentine's Day. It's a relatively short month. And then we move into the windy month, March. And before you know it, it's spring. So we've got something to be happy about today. I want to get into this video because I want to show you what we're going to do. I'm going to gently tip this because I don't want all the foundations to spill out. This is a cupcake tray. I have two of them. I don't need two. They didn't pay anything for this. I got it at a yard sale. And one of the trays I use to put my makeup on. And I keep that right in front of me or to the side, and I put whatever it is I want to use in it. It's a large palette, but I can put anything I want in here selectively. Today, we're going to try out all of the foundations that I purchased from 2021 until now. And we're going to go through them on my face. We're going to start out with a foundation that I purchased. My very first luxury foundation. It's the Lancome Stick Foundation. I'm not going to bother giving you the colors because that will take forever. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it on my skin so you can see the color. And I'm just going to blend it a little bit with my fingers. This is still, of all of the 16 liquid foundations, with the exception of one that's a cream, but I'm including it in the liquid. And two sticks, this one included. This is still my favorite foundation. I like the ease of use. I like how silky it feels on my skin. I like how it dries down, but it doesn't dry out. I only have this much left. And one of the reasons I'm doing this video today is to show you what I'm going to declutter, because I have some faves and I have some definite fails. The next product that I purchased was the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and I purchased it in samples. So I'm going to put that one right here. And I'm doing this so you can see all the different colors. Now this one also feels silky. I really, really liked this. I don't like the smell. My Lancome does not have a smell. This has a smell, but it does stay put on my skin once it dries down. All right, I'm using a bunch of brushes to do this. The next one that we're going to put on is the Nikol Cosmetics CC Cream. This is really nice if I want a very warm, light look. And you can go to Nicole Johnson Cosmetics and you can pick that up there. And so that one I'm placing right here. And I think it's interesting because you're going to be able to see all the different colors that I chose. And they're pretty much within the shade range. Let me turn my light on. I have natural light right there, but I wanted to turn my light on just so you could get a glimpse. Okay? This is really nice. It's really lightweight. It's extremely hydrating. The next foundation that I purchased, because there was so much hype about it, and I thought, you know what? It's not a lot of money. It's the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Stick Foundation. And I'm going to put that one right here next to my Lancome. Okay, this is still good. This does not have an odor to it. I threw away my Wet n Wild Photo Focus liquid. I did not like the smell, and it tended to smell worse as time went on, so I got rid of it. I'm going to put this one right here. Now, this is not like this. The Wet n Wild is not like the Lancome. We're talking luxury with the Lancome. But if you want something that's affordable, that's easy to put on, this has a thickness to it. So you really don't need a lot, maybe a line here, a line here, a line, and a line here. And then work it in with a brush. I would recommend a brush because it's very stiff. I'm going to keep this because it's in a stick and ease of use. I'm going to keep this. I am not going to keep my Estee Lauder samples. I will be decluttering those. I am definitely keeping my Lancome. The next one that I want to talk to you about is the Joah Primedation. Now, I love this foundation, but one of the things, if you have oily skin, because I know one of the content creators that I follow tried it and she has oily skin, it is not for oily skin. So let's put on the Joah next to the Wet n Wild. This color is a lot lighter than all of the other colors that I chose. It also has a strange smell to it, but it's way better than some of the other foundations that I've already discarded. I'm sorry about that, but I did. I just got rid of them. I can use this because I don't have oily skin. Less is more with this foundation if you're going to try it. And it's really inexpensive. I think you can get it for $9. I paid around $6 or $5 for the Wet n Wild. And I paid around $47, $49 for my Lancome. And I believe I paid around $25 for Nikol's. Might be more because it was a year ago. And all of these foundations are still fine because I don't use them all the time and they stay sealed. The next one that I purchased is the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It. Now, I really loved this foundation. I really loved it when I first put it on, and I wore it throughout the day. The color is a little yellow for me, although I could get away with it when I blended it in. It has that tropical smell, but not, I wouldn't say Hawaiian tropics. It's almost as if the smell is in there to mask the makeup smell. But it didn't really bother me. It did when I initially put it on, it bothered me. But as that smell wore off, what I didn't like about this foundation is that I had to keep using it and using it to figure out how to use it. Again, less is more. And I would use a damp makeup sponge to put it on. It did collect in my pores, and you could see that, and that bothered me. You definitely need a primer with it. I'm going to declutter this. I am going to get rid of this foundation. I didn't want to have to, but I don't use it. And it's really not the right color for me. So I will be saying bye-bye to the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It. And it's so interesting because I watched reviews on it, and some people liked it and some people didn't. And I said that I really liked it, but I'd like to take that back because I didn't realize that reviewing makeup was so difficult. You really have to use it several times before you can make an informed decision. Now, I'm going to set my tray down because we're going to go into the Wayne Goss Luxury Cream Foundation. I was really lucky when I've been following Wayne for a while, but I just never really talked about it because I love him. I think he's a nice person, and I like his techniques. I just like watching him. And so when I found out that he launched a foundation, I was like, oh, I'm getting it. And just by luck, I was able to get my color before it sold out. So this is Wayne Goss's Luxury Foundation. I don't mind this smell. This is not a paint smell. This is a foundation smell without a fragrance, basically. And that does not bother me. So I'm going to put that right here. And as you can see, that's a nice color for me. What I like about Wayne's foundation is, don't look at my puff, it's dirty, which means I've been using it. I have to clean it. I bought 2 of these and I can't find my other one. One I wanted to use as a powder puff. And when it turns up, I will definitely be using it because this will make an amazing powder puff. So what I loved about this was that I could swirl this into the foundation and put it on my skin. Yes, I noticed some settling, but all I did was go back and work that into my skin. I mean, look, you can see settling. I really put a lot of foundation straight up over, but I'm not applying it. I'm just laying it on my skin. So I am keeping the Wayne Goss Luxury Foundation. I really like it. I like how it feels on my skin. I like how it moisturizes my skin. It's not a full coverage, and I like that too. I got rid of my full coverage foundations. So let's move on to the ILia True Serum Foundation. Now, I'm not big on serums, and this was a little, I couldn't wait to try it because I follow a mature woman makeup artist, and she really applied it really well. And when I got it, I have to use a primer with it. And it doesn't last for hours and hours. I don't think it's meant to. I don't think it's meant to last 12, 14 hours. You can get away with it for 8 hours, though. So this is that foundation right here. This looks a bit light for my skin. I could have gone a little bit darker, but once I blend it in, I can get away with it. This foundation, the only thing that I don't like about it is that there is a serum in it. And sometimes serums in things like foundation or even just applying serums, depending on what kind they are, I feel like I want to touch my face. It feels like that it never really sinks into my skin. It just kind of sits there. But one really good thing is if you're a mature woman and you use this foundation, when you take it off at the end of the day, you will definitely notice the difference. And the same goes for the concealer. Your skin will feel amazing. And that's my honest opinion. The next foundation that I purchased is the Miccilo. And this came from Sweden. And I watched a content creator talk about this. And I used her discount code. And I was really, really impressed. But this is a full coverage foundation. It's the only one that I'm keeping. When you put this on your skin, it covers everything. It's very, very, very thick. And it doesn't budge once you put it on your skin. But it almost, if you do not hydrate really well, it does have a drying effect to it. This also might be a little bit too light for my skin. And that's the darker color. They sent me another color. They'll send you two so you can mix them. So this really is too light for my skin. I'm a light medium. This is too light, but when I warm up my skin, I can get away with it. That's already dry. That's the part that's really difficult. Don't use a brush with it if you decide to get it. Use a damp makeup sponge. It dries down almost instantaneously, but it doesn't move on your skin. And I've used it as a concealer. Just want you to see the difference. See the difference? This makes an awesome concealer, a liquid concealer, if you're interested. And I'll do a video on it. I have all kinds of videos I want to do. I just don't have all the time to do them in. The next foundation that I picked up because I watched another content creator use it, and she likes to have a very dewy look to her skin. I'm more concerned about my foundation not moving. Is the True Match L'Oreal True Match. Excuse me for a minute. Super blendable foundation. I thought this was the serum one, but it isn't. Titanium dioxide sunscreen. I did a video on this. I think it was yesterday. I'll link it. I'll try to link videos with applications of these. And most of the time I say I love them. But I'm getting better at that, only because I just love trying new makeup. When I first purchased this, that's my second bottle. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I thought, are these people out of their mind? I mean, it just was like, oh my God, it was just settling everywhere. And I went back and I watched, well, she did another video. It was a more in-depth video. And she explained that it was one of her favorite foundations and why. So I said, I'm going to try it again. The price is right. It's not like I'm only spending, I'm spending under $10 on it. So I went back and I picked it up, and I found that I cannot use that without a primer. It's just, I can't use it without a primer. At the end of the day, I can see it all gathering up in my pores. And this is the True Match foundation. Look at that. Isn't that a great match to my skin? I wore it all day yesterday with the primer. It looked beautiful at the end of the day. It did not make my skin, if I didn't use any powder on my foundation, it definitely would have looked dewy all day long. I really, really, really like this now. It's actually moving into my top 3 or 4. I have 4. So the next one that I purchased from Kiko Milano is the Smart Hydrating Foundation. Comes in a tube, which I like. You can squirt it on a palette. You're not fussing with a pump. At the very end of it, you can cut it open and use what's left. I like that. Although the plastics, I don't know if they're recyclable. If they made the plastics recyclable, I would like them better. But I'm trying to remember. I did like this. I did like this. It's very liquidy. Let's put it on. It'll come back to me. All right. Yeah, this one is too light. That was the issue. Too light. Has a slight, can of paint smell, but not nearly as bad as some of the others. And it goes away. But I really like. I think I remember really, really liking this. And I can use it. Once I blend it in, I can warm it up. So I am keeping that one. I'm going to get rid of my Joah. Forgot to mention that to you. I like some of the Joah products, but I don't care for that foundation. Not after trying others. Let's see. All right, now we're moving on to a couple of higher end products. I'm going by the timeline that I purchased these foundations. The next one is, okay, so we've got the Lancome Stick Foundation, and I'm going to try the Lancome Liquid, but I love the stick. The Lancome Stick Foundation. This next one that I'm going to talk about, the L'Oreal True Match. And this next one, so far in my top foundation, is the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. But the pump failed on it. The pump fell apart. The pump got stuck inside the lid. And I could not get it out. I repaired another one that did that, but I could not. It's part of it is still stuck in there. I can't screw it on. I'm just really disappointed with the packaging, because that foundation I go to as much as I go to my Lancome foundation. It just looks like perfection on my skin. It is the most beautiful foundation. I really, really like it. And I think the color is really good for me. So let's put that right here. That's another really good color match for my skin. And I don't have to use a primer with it. and I don't have to powder it. It's just as is. It's just a beautiful foundation. The next foundation that I purchased right after that, there was a big span. I didn't really want to purchase anymore. That was it for me. But I decided to try the House Labs. And the House Labs and the Nars are very similar on my skin. They both perform very, very well. The color is excellent for me. This one has a little bit of a smell, but it's nothing. It's nothing. It'll go away. Same thing. I don't have to use a primer. I can use it straight on my skin. I can use a brush. I can use a sponge. I don't have to powder it. It's an amazing foundation. And the pump broke on this one. But I was able to repair it. I said, you know what? I've been wanting to purchase this for a long, long time. I want to see if the claims on it are what they say. And so I ordered the Il Makiage foundation, liquid foundation. Same thing. It has a pump. And again, I was very happy with my purchase. Let's see, I'm running out of spaces. Now, this foundation, I feel, goes on better with a sponge than it does with a brush. Light-handed. And then go back on the spots that you want to cover up with it. If you put it on really heavy, it's going to look like this. It's going to settle in your fine lines and wrinkles. But if you put it on lightly and you use some translucent powder, it's a beautiful, beautiful foundation. And the coverage is really good. It's excellent, excellent coverage. Let me show you. See my beauty spot up here? That's brown. And that did a great job covering that up. So I'm keeping the Il Makiage. So what is that now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 top foundations. And I have one more that's going into the top category. But before I show you that one, I'm going to show you the Revlon Colorstay new and improved formulation 24 hour. I'm going to give this away. I'm going to give this to my younger sister. I've only used it 2 or 3 times. It's a pump. It's never touched my skin. I think that she will really enjoy this, but I'm not going to keep it. I wanted to find out what the fuss was all about. I have foundations that I love much better than that. And my sister wears makeup every day to go to work, and I'm sure that she will get good wear out of that foundation. But that's what it is right here. Color is good for me. It'll be good for her as long as she's not tan. I just think it was overhyped. That's my personal opinion. The L'Oreal True Match is much better. So we're putting that in a giveaway. And my final foundation, aside from a few others that I purchased this year that I've already gotten rid of, didn't pay a lot of money for them. Can't remember what they are, is the Believe Beauty $5.50 foundation that I just got last week. I watched a content creator talk about this. I didn't watch anybody else talk about it, just this one content creator that's a mature woman. And she had so many good things to say about it. And I kept, I'm in Dollar General all the time. And I kept saying, forget it. I'm not going to, I'm just not going to spend the money. Yet I would buy these higher end foundations. And this performs as nicely as my Nars and my House Labs. And I think this is going to be my go-to foundation because of the price, because I can pick it up easily, and because as soon as my other favorite foundations are gone, I may purchase them as a backup, but this I will definitely have, my Lancome, but I think this is going to be my go-to foundation. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to show you. Isn't that the way it is? We think that the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. And we go looking and we go searching and we end up finding what we need in our own backyard. So let me see if I can find a spot that doesn't have any. This is the only spot right here that doesn't have any foundation. It's an excellent color for me. You really have to sniff deeply to smell anything with that foundation. And I'm sure that there are many, many higher end foundations out there that are lovely. But do you really want to spend that kind of money? If you're a mature woman and you're being mindful of your budget. And I'm doing another video very similar to this using all of my powder foundations that I purchased this in a year's time. I think I'm going to declutter the Kiko Milano, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to moisten my beauty blender, and I'm going to come back and I am going to merge all of these foundations into my skin. Okay, are you ready? Let's get all of these foundations blended in to my skin. Might as well, right? Might as well blend them all in. Seeing how most of them are right around my same skin tone. I have some other products coming. I should receive them next week. I ordered a powder from Makeup Revolution. I'm just going to use my Joah blush. For a light, I've got the 80s going on here with my shirt. It's actually like a shirt dress that my sister gave me, and I loved it because of the colors. It's just so bright, and I thought it would be pretty for February, Valentine's month.